Today, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks in using Cursor IDE, which I personally apply almost every day, and that helps me speed up my AI coding like significantly. For those of you who doesn't know, Cursor is an IDE where you can write code, but the cool thing is that you can ask AI to write code for you, and this is integrated into your development environment. So basically, instead of like going back and forth with ChatGPT or Claude, when you ask, generate me this code, copy it and come back to your development environment, you work directly with AI model in the IDE. So there is a chat window where you can just add some files to the context, and you can ask Cursor to do something about those files, like modify them, generate new files. You can select different models, etc. So if you haven't tried yet, I really recommend you trying Cursor. It will just speed up your development process like 2-3 times, maybe even more. So what tips I'm talking about today? So first tip is that in this chat window, you can add not just code files, but you can also add images or screenshots. So let's see how it works. I have this landing page of my side project, which is AI system that allows people to convert code, explain code, document code, etc. And let's say I want to improve my landing page or change it somehow. So I can go to Cursor and I can select files which I want to change here. So it can be page.tsx, and let's say I want to change this hero section. So this section is called hero section. So, and I can ask Cursor to do something. I probably want to have some inspiration for the landing page. I don't have an idea of what exactly I want to change. I just want to change something. So what I can do, I can go to the website called landingfolio.com, and I can just see some examples of existing landing pages and just see which one I like. And yeah, let's say I want something like this. We can argue if it's good design, bad design, but just as an example, let's say I want my hero section to look like this, but in my website. So I can ask Cursor to just implement these colors, like blue, red, make a gradient, change the text. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a screenshot of this hero section, go to Cursor, just drag and drop it to the chat window, and you see this image here. So now I will just type short prompt for the model, and let's just see how it works. Okay, so I see that Cursor generated something. So it integrated some div into my file. I click accept file, and now I go to the actual landing page to see the result. Okay, so you see how actually similar this landing page to the one I gave it to. So there are still some problems like margins here, which again you can just ask Cursor to fix. But this was just an illustration. So what you can do here is like you can add some designs, obviously. You can add like copy this dashboard, copy this landing page, whatever. You can also send the model some mockups. So if you have an like napkin idea of how you want something to look like, just add it to the prompt, to the context, and it will use it. The second tip is that apart from just images and code files, you can add some URLs to the context. So let's show you an example. Again, considering the same website. So I have this sitemap.xml, which just has all the links in my website, and it is automatically generated in my project. And so I know that for each URL there is location, there is last modified, but in general there can also be change frequency. So this change frequency tells Google like how frequently this page is updated. And so I want to add this frequency to all my URLs, but I don't want to code. I want just AI to do the job. So my sitemap is generated in this file, sitemap.ts. And you see, I don't want to just even maybe read the docs of how I can do this. I want to tell Cursor to do it for me. So what I do in this case usually is I go to the website with some tutorial or documentation. So in our case, it's Next.js sitemap.xml documentation. So I can just copy this URL, come back to the cursor. I can insert this URL, and you see that it is marked with add. So it will fetch the content of this URL and use it. And so now I can ask Cursor to add this change frequency to all URLs. So you see this URL mentioned here. It means that it was fetched and this content was used. And now you see that div that Cursor just generated me, adding change frequency to weekly to all my URLs in the list. I click accept file. I refresh my sitemap, and now I see that change frequency is weekly set for all pages on my website. So this LLM trick is insanely useful in cases when you want something that LLMs are not aware of, maybe some rare library, or you need to use some combinations of different libraries. And if you found a good tutorial on Medium, or just any good tutorial, any documentation which just explains how to do this, you can just send this tutorial to Cursor and say, follow the instruction in the tutorial to implement the changes I want you to implement. And it just dramatically improves the quality of generated code, because now instead of some hallucinations, you see the actual code from examples written by humans. The last tip I wanted to show you today is that in Cursor there is a command line, and you can actually generate commands. So you can click Command K to generate a command. So I click Command K, and I can just show you some examples of how you can use this feature. Just simple example is like, I want to run this project, run Next.js project. I click Submit. And cool, I have the correct command to run my project. Now imagine I want to work with Git. I want to create a Git branch, for example, and I forgot how can I do this. Again, I can ask Cursor, create new Git branch, and it just generates the command to create new branch. Another even more complicated example is, say, I want to calculate the number of code lines in my project. So I can ask Cursor to do this for me. Okay, you see that it just created a command to filter out all my TypeScript, JavaScript files and just calculate the number of lines. Let's run it. Cool, quite a big number, though it included all the libraries. Okay, this was all for today. I hope you find this video useful. Thank you very much, and see you next time.